Iowa fans have flocked to Nashville, Tennessee for the 2024 Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl. We're out here at Tin Roof for a watch party, and no matter the sport, Hawks always support Hawks.
I'm at the 2025 National Collegiate Women's Wrestling Championships, where 3 Iowa Hawkeyes were able to climb all the way up to the top and become individual national champions. The former Big Ten champ shared with me it's surreal to be back in Carver Hawkeye Arena and hopes to add a few more of these to her resume. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, Colin Carruthers, DI-TV Sports. Peyton Sanford's performance in this game and all season long has impressed those from the opposing side of the court, including legendary head coach Tom Izzo. After a buildup of 12 bouts, it was finally time for the main card, the king of Iowa men's wrestling, to step up to the mat. For the 33rd time since 2020, Iowa scored 21+ points. But for the first time in those 33 contests, it wasn't enough, especially against Brady Cook's MVP performance. Hey guys, Chris Hannon, who started off his career at Northwestern, transferred to Michigan, and is now back where it all started with the Wildcats. Now last year with Michigan, he did appear in the dual opener against Columbia, but missed most of the season with an injury that's still nagging him into this year, as most of his matches have to stop for injury time. But coming into today's match, 3-6 on the year, has a lot of confidence going into the opponent, Colin Shriver, who he's faced and defeated twice in his collegiate career, once in 2022, 5-3, and a 4-1 victory in 2023. We'll see if he's able to make it 3-0 later in the duel against the Iowa foe.
And now to learn more about that matchup at 184, let's head over to Colin Carruthers.
And thanks, guys. Gabe Arnold able to take down his opponent 13-2 for the Iowa Hawkeyes today. A really impressive match from him, but that is his 4th major decision of the year. That'll put him at 2nd for the rankings on this Iowa squad in major decisions this year. He only trails Kale Voinovich, who's in 1st with 5 major decisions on the season. But again, really good stuff from Gabe Arnold. We'll see how it elevates this team the rest of the duel. Back to you guys. And Lucy Olsen already back in the book with 2 off the right elbow, 30-22.
Can you say mid-range jumper?
Mid-range jumper, Lucy
Olsen.
30-22, 9.5 minutes remaining. It's China Cornwell with it on the right wing, swinging it up. Samaya Petticord takes a moment, and after her pause, dribbles over the right wing, now dribbles back left, pass to the corner, shot for 3, misses everything, rebound by Cornwell. Guarded by Stolke on the right block, pass outside, and a shot clock violation, completely unaware of the situation.
Yeah, you gotta move the rock. You gotta try to get a shot up for sure there. Giving up the shot clock violation. It looked like they just weren't entirely sure how close the shot clock was to running out there. And yeah, ran out of time.
Skyly Feuerbach with it on the left wing, pass inside the Stolke, dribbles it from the free throw line to the box, swatted away from Cornwell, and stolen on her own block.
So get that out of here. Get that out of your city. Wow, what a block.
That was tough. A lot of strength there from Cornwell, but now it's Petticord at the logo. 17 seconds on the shot clock, 8:50 on the game clock, 30-22 lead for Iowa. Now inside the perimeter, back out to Adams. Adams dribbles it in. Looking for a pass outside, finds one, dribbles into the paint again, a jump stop, and the Euro step will go from Perkins.
I love that for Perkins, picking up the ball, using that jump step through there, knowing how many steps she has left, using them to her advantage to get the shot up. Absolutely great way.
Perfect pass from Lucy Olsen, finds Hannah Stolke, who rolls it in off glass, and for 2, 32-24 lead.
That's kind of what I was talking about there before the half started up, getting some of those other shots to fall. They're good looks, just haven't been falling. Stolke converts there.
That's Cornwell with it. Pass over the Lacey, dribbles it towards the left elbow, off the back of the cast iron, and rebounded by a falter, I thought, but instead fell away from her hands and was out of bounds.
No, these mid-range jumpers, Colin, they're not all falling, but these mid-range jumpers, they got me feeling nicey.
Perkins inbound, tipped away by Osado. Destiny Adams with a 3, and music for Rutgers. The three-pointer's good.
You can't just let me say you got me feeling nicey and not say anything.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what. This is
Gruden.
Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable.
Oh, that's worse than the dodgeball miss. I apologize. That's
all over
worse.
TikTok, man.
Is it? Okay, that's why I didn't know.
Oh,
that's
wow.
why
We got a boomer.
Oh, it wasn't from his show.
Well, it was
Foul
from
there,
before
off
he got
ball.
signed to Barstool.
Foul there, off ball. Falter head on the right wing. Sulky cut in. It'll be on 54 trying to Cornwell, but anyways, it's not from his show with where he did the quarterback talk.
No.
Oh, that's why I don't know.
It's more recent than that. Yeah.
Oh, well. There you
Unreal.
go. There you go.
So, wow, it just made me sound stupid. That's great.
Pass in from Sulky, the Olsen, who tries to get it back inside, but off-ball foul by Cornwell. She is furious, walking away, has some words of choice for the refs as some of her teammates try to calm her down. And a technical foul now called as Cornwell couldn't stop. I believe that's what I saw.
I believe you're right.
She's going to be subbed down. Head coach Coquise Washington has a few words for her, trying to calm her down, and that will be true as Taylor McKay will be sent to the line for those technical free throws. Coquise Washington knows what she's doing. It's her third year here with Rutgers, but for 12 seasons at Penn State, won 3 Big Ten Coach of the Year awards.
As the saying goes, practice is how you play. But Iowa soccer has turned futuristic. The train. The world of virtual reality has made its way to the Hawkeye goalkeepers. Brought in by new assistant coach JP Valadares, the goalkeepers are in their first year of using a type of VR headset called an Oculus to simulate 2 different drills. One is based off reaction and speed, and the other visualizes being at goalkeeper. These games can help prepare them mentally and give them ideas for real-time experience, but with the wear and tear of a season, the physical component is worthy to note.
Shooting balls and doing stuff like that, that's a lot of physical toll, so being able to do it by yourself and just when you want to come in at your convenience is a lot more helpful when it comes to just kind of getting it done.
I think it's nice to be able to do something and still feel like you're making progress without kind of throwing yourself on the ground when you know your body just needs the day off.
Now, the team uses the system only about 1 to 3 times a week, depending on if they're in season or not, but it still adds a competitive nature among the group with some fun sprinkled in.
We always are like, oh, hey, what was your high score? Or how many did you use your left versus right? So it's little things like that that kind of just make us, laugh and joke.
And the goalkeepers take pride in their improvements and skills on the VR drills throughout the year.
I actually think that people don't think it's as hard as it looks. I think when we do the blaze pods, they're like, oh, that looks easy, I can do that. But once you actually get to the actual times and stuff like that, they're like, no, it's pretty hard.
And I even got a chance on the VR set and can attest it's not as easy as they make it look. You didn't see that. That one you didn't see. With this unique way to train, Iowa soccer hopes it continues to aid to their already stellar season. From the Iowa Soccer Complex Conquerors, DI-TV Sports. Iowa's Hillary Cox has had her success on the field, but now she's using her field hockey experience to conduct a study unlike anything ever done before.
I did a lot of review of what is out there in the world and what studies have been done already, and there is very, very little on the sweep skill, so a lot of what we know is just from experience and isn't backed up with data.
A sweep skill is mostly seen during penalty corners and looks something just like this, flat and quick. So for their study, they'll have participants do just that.
And we realized, I think there was only 1 or 2 different studies that had actually studied it. And so we wanted to contribute to the literature by providing some objective analysis about what makes a successful sweep happen.
They'll be looking for certain metrics including acceleration, knee angle, and stick angle, but to be able to pick up this data, they'll be using a special tool from Hillary's professor, Rachel Vitale.
We're putting these sensors on different body segments, and because we're collecting all of this data, we can actually figure out how they're moving.
The study will also serve its benefits for players and their health.
What we're doing with this study and the information we'll gain from it as well will help maybe in the future guide injury prevention strategies for field hockey.
Now, Cox has been flooded with academic awards. She was named to the Big Ten Fall Academic All-Conference team last year and was on the Division I National Academic Squad in 2022. But this is a sport that's been near and dear to Hillary's heart ever since she was young.
So I started playing field hockey when I was 10. One of my best friends joined a rec league at the Park District over the summer, and I fell in love with the sport. I think it's fast-paced, it's exciting, there's a lot to learn.
Using the wearable sensors to understand something that she has done over and over and over again for more than a decade.
Hillary Cox and Professor Vitale are hoping to have their data collected in full by the end of the fall so they can start to analyze it during the spring semester. From Grant Field, Colin Crothers, DI-TV Sports. Raylan Miller Ramirez grew up an extremely active kid, but all this was thrown off when she was around 6 years old. She became unbalanced and was being treated for what they thought was vertigo, but her mom still felt uneasy.
We went to the beach for Raylan's birthday because that's her happy place, and as soon as we walked onto the sand, she just fell over. The doctor came in and did the big deep sigh and pulled up his pant leg, sat down, and he said, "You're not going home."
That's when Raylan was diagnosed with grade 4 mendublastoma, a nervous system tumor starting in the brain. She would be rushed to a 7-hour surgery where she would completely lose her vision and develop posterior fossa syndrome, meaning she had to relearn how to walk and talk. That's when the family made the move back from Oregon to Iowa City in the said Family Children's Hospital, where months later, Raylan became victorious.
We knew she was strong enough to handle it. We knew her, willpower and everything was strong enough to handle it, to just be done. And she rang that bell.
Raylan is described as a fighter and is already back to being as active as she used to be.
She didn't want that to be a part of her life anymore. She went to camp this summer. It's called Camp Abilities through the Department for the Blind. And she was running track.
The family now hopes Raylan's story can serve as a message of hope for other families.
It's not just cancer. It's life-changing inspirement to other people that, it's not the end of the world. I mean, gosh, she had to rush the field with Jamari Harris. I mean, what's better than that?
After rushing the field for Kids Day, she hopes the team can bring back a win for her Kid Captain Week. From the University of Iowa Colin Carruthers, DI TV Sports. Now, Brady, we talked about it in the breakdown earlier. Could be a really close game and expected some Big Ten hard-nosed football. So if I want that belt back, I'm going to need to bring in some magic. So here's this, Brady. I'm bringing in some magic that helped me win this week. 1962 game-worn helmet is going to help me as Iowa is going to win this game. I've got Iowa winning 34-17. I believe in this offense to score and hold Wisconsin a little bit lower and keep Luke Fickell on the hot seat.
Really? Just have that?
I needed something. Got to help with this head up here. It's been missing a few weeks, so I got to keep it safe somehow.
All right, well, I'll just get right into my Hawkeye highlight then.
Yeah, but Brady, I got to ask you a question. Do you like fun?
I do.
Because guess what? I like fun. Speaking of fun, Iowa homecoming weekend as they take on the Northwestern Wildcats. And early in the game, Caden McNamara was cooking at quarterback, throwing one deep. Seth Anderson laying out for a big grab that sets up Iowa for a field goal, getting on the board first. They lead 3-0. And then a drive later, a pivotal point in this game, Caden McNamara throws one up and it just lays out there, an interception for Northwestern. This would be called back though after a late hit call. We're going to rewind the tape and look at it again. A big hit there. Keep that in mind for the next drive. But later, Northwestern, they flip the quarter and Quinn Schulte gets an interception, sets up Iowa in the red zone. But 3 plays later, look at that hit again from McNamara as he's looking to the right side, throws it right to the Northwestern defense instead of going for 6. Gives the Wildcats 6, and that was the last down we saw from McNamara all day. A little bit later, the defense, though, making up for the mistakes. Sickos committee, we've got a 5er up on the board. Iowa down 7-5, and then the two teams would trade some punts, but Reese Dakin continuing to pin Northwestern within that 15-yard line, and then going into the half, Sullivan in at quarterback hands the ball off to Caleb Johnson, and from here on out, it's just a compilation of smiles for Iowa fans. Look at this play here. And I want to point out something. Look at the right side of the screen. Brendan Sullivan, the lead blocker there on his own pass, setting up Iowa for his own touchdown. And then look at this punt here from Northwestern. Gets it down to Caden Weegan. We've seen his speed and now tiptoeing on the sideline, returns his own punt to the end zone and continuing it up. Another touchdown. You guess who? Caleb Johnson returning at 40 yards, and then one drive later, it's him again. Caleb Johnson, 25 yards to the house for his 3rd touchdown of the game and 4th touchdown of the 3rd quarter, let alone an incredible performance from the offense when Brendan Sullivan came in, but the defense continuing to do well, putting pressure on Lausch there, the quarterback for Northwestern, getting some fumbles now. Northwestern would finish the game returning their own punt to the end zone, but they lose Iowa's homecoming game 40-14.